the Suns, they have Booker. The Suns have no hope.
I would say the Nets join that list since they don't have any draft picks.
Yeah, the Nets have no hope.
So they have nothing to play for.
They all have horrible owners, horrible management, have made stupid trades, and literally have no hope. Like, I can't quantify how little hope these franchises have. It confounds me how stupid you can be to do a trade like this, and yet Buddy Hield is going to be Steph.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw my caption yesterday. I was going to text you back, but I was like, New Orleans made it look big easy.
Yeah, it's big easy. Okay. Yeah, no, really, man, this is such a steal. If you're just joining us, this is the Overreaction. We're talking the DeMarcus Cousins trade to the New Orleans Pelicans. Let's move on and talk about Cousins long term in New Orleans. Phil doesn't think he stays. He thinks he bolts after next season. Yeah. I disagree. He's paired with Anthony Davis, who him together, that's the two best big men in basketball. They could be. They're not as classy, and maybe don't have
Anthony Davis is not bad.
Yeah, they're not as level-headed and as classy as Duncan and Robinson, but I think this is the most formidable front court that I've seen since Duncan and Robinson together. Wouldn't you agree?
I would absolutely agree. And if we're being honest, I love Sean Elliott. I love Avery Bradley in there, but they weren't like superstars. Do you catch me? So they didn't have like a lot around them to build off of either. So it took those two to really level that franchise
and learn to play together.
So hopefully the Pelicans can do the same, because this looks like a bright future with two young players.
And this is exactly why I think he stays long term. I think he signs that extension with New Orleans.
I will say this. He's a head case. Head case, it's a reasonable head case, but he's still a head case. David Robinson was like the ultimate nice guy, like girls don't date you nice guy. And Tim Duncan was humble and quiet. So they worked perfectly fine. And then Tim Duncan literally stripped the role of franchise leader from Robinson, and they worked perfectly fine for the 6 years they were together. But still, after Tim Duncan came in, it was Tim Duncan's team. It is what it is. So these are two guys in their prime versus David Robinson going down and Tim Duncan just starting. But it's still one of the best.
I think it's going to work, though. I think you're going to see them combine for about 45 points a game and about 25 rebounds a game. I think it's going to be a point guard. I think it's going to be dominant. Drew Holiday is not a bad point guard. He needs to play better, but
he does.
What I would do long term, because you're right, they do need shooters and they need a point guard and they need a coach. I'm not in love with Alvin Gentry running that team.
That man.
Also, I think a big thing to remember is they also got Omri Caspi in the trade, and I feel like Caspi's a solid little just spread him out, get a three, a couple
maybe off the bench for 10 minutes a game, but nothing more.
Yep.
Yeah, but I'm saying if they could go out and they could sign maybe if they could lure JJ Redick away from the Pelicans or the Clippers at free agency, maybe.
Ooh,
and
what's the going price for Redick?
If Coach Cal at Kentucky is just tired of the rat race, Phil put this idea in my head last night and I'm totally buying it.
He said he's not interested.
Of course he's saying he's not interested, but wait until he is another one and done, two and done, whatever in the NCAA tournament, because this team of his isn't going very far this year.
They always do.
And two of possibly the best Kentucky Wildcats ever.
Exactly. Exactly. I could totally see Coach Cal saying, you know what? I have the two best big men in the NBA. Sign me up for that.
Absolutely.
But it's going to be an unmitigated disaster. But it will be media circus. It's going to be a media circus.
And then in 2 years, they get John Wall to come. Ooh, boy.
You better calm down,
You
boy.
better
but real quick, the league's changing, though. With two big men, instead of having a backcourt, backcourt's kind of the name of the game right now in the NBA. So if you don't have a if you have the front court but no backcourt, I feel like that's going to hurt you more in the playoffs than it would help you.
Maybe you're right, but maybe they also put some they changed things up a bit because all these teams are smaller now and they're huge.
Well, yeah, but look at the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies play with Marc Gasol, and Zach Randolph now that he's kind of coming off the bench now, but they couldn't go very far in the playoffs when they were there.
Yeah,
they're not as good as
but Marc Gasol and Zebo are not Anthony Davis.
Oh, I'm not saying they are. Anthony Davis is not really. He can stretch the floor a little bit better. Cousins can shoot a three here and there, but Davis can spread a little bit more.
Anthony Davis can. I was going to say spread the floor. I'm excited to see if they just pull this 8 seed out. I want to see Pelicans versus Golden State. See how the Pelicans can, at least make a move. If you win one game, that's huge for New Orleans just to say, hey, okay, we beat the best team in the NBA. Let's look forward now. We got to beat at least one game out of 7 or 2 games, whatever. I think a big man duo is still kind of a good starting spot or starting position as for a team and a good layout moving forward, especially when you have the two best big men in the game. Period.
They need shooters. They need shooters.
Yeah, and they can pound Golden State down low. Golden State doesn't really have any size besides Pachulia and Draymond Green. And I mean, as good as Draymond Green is, he can't hold his own against DeMarcus and
Anthony
absolutely.
Davis. And then I mean, you're right. They need shooters. It's just they have Solomon Hill, they have Drew Holiday,
Dante Cunningham, Quincy Pondexter,
each one more,
and
I'm crying.
And Tim
That's
Frazier.
What it is.
Well, I do like Caspi. I'm with Brand on that. I do like Caspi. I think he's a guy that teams have looked at before, but the Kings have never made that move. So I mean, he's a guy that I wouldn't even be surprised if he started for that, because I can't think of another shooting forward on that team besides Pondexter that could play.
They're not done making moves, by the way, yet, because they got Ajinça, Omer Asik, they got Caspi, they got Terrence Jones, Monty Eunice. They have so much depth up front, and they're not done. I think they do make a couple more trades, or one more decent sized trade at the deadline.
Trade two of those forwards for just something. Get a shooter. Get a
shooter. Like I was saying, Lou Williams, shooters.
We'll talk about that. Actually, we're out of time on this segment, but on headlines, we're going to talk about other trades that might happen in the NBA, and we'll talk about that because we have some ideas. Let's toss it over to Kyle, though, for some music. We're going to come back and we're going to preview this Iowa State-Texas Tech matchup tonight. Kyle, what's up for music?
All right, we got some Red Hot Chili Peppers, Danny California, so stay tuned. More Overreaction on the way.
Welcome back. This is the Overreaction on Facebook Live. Abel, I just got word from Brian that we didn't have any sound. Hopefully you can hear us now. Give us some confirmation. So, guys, we got a few more minutes here. I guess we could still kind of talk about this trade a little bit. Yeah, I am just like, I feel so, if I was a Kings fan, I would just be so mad.
Oh, I mean, you should be mad for the past couple of years.
And Divock even comes out and says, a couple of days ago, I had a way better offer on the table and I didn't take it. And then now he takes this trash of an offer last night.
Garbage.
He's just admitting that he is a garbage executive. He was a garbage player and he's a garbage executive.
He was one of the most trash.
He's the inventor of the flop.
This guy is trash. I don't know what you do. I do not know what you don't say that on TV.
Yeah.
You don't say, even if you did. Don't give fans the...
What do you think the offer was? Do you think it was maybe the Celtics saying, okay, whatever, let's do this, the Nets pick for him straight up right now? Do you think that's what it was?
It could be.
Maybe. And they said if you walk away from it right now and you don't take it, it's off the table for good.
How many teams could you see Cousins going to? I said Celtics, New Orleans for some reason. You know how these teams, they don't want to give big teams players.
Yeah.
Because it's like funneling the Yankees.
I mean, who else was there? I mean, like, I guess there'd be some random teams like the Rockets, things like...
What are the Rockets? Why would the Rockets need him? The Rockets, they're perfectly fine as is. Even though...
No, they're not. They're not championship contenders. They're pretenders.
Absolutely not. Absolutely
what
not.
What do you? I know. I've been looking at this.
They're going to make the playoffs. They're going to win 50.
Yeah, it's facts.
And lose in the second round. But yeah.
I've been looking at this trade machine since you guys showed me. What do you guys think? I just put it in. Just check it out. This is obviously random, super random stuff. But I was like looking at the power forwards for New Orleans. I have Jinka and Terrence Jones. Okay. Mm-hmm. For Bogdanovich and Randy Foye, just some quick shooters from the Nets and get them started again.
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
Sure.
Get some shooters, right? Like,
sure. Boy, I'll say this about the Bogdanovich guy. Okay, there's two. I need everyone to understand. There's two. One's in Serbia, one's in Croatia.
Yeah.
The Balkans are weird. So Bogdanovich in Serbia should be going to the Kings soon. If the Kings want to have any shot, they need to bring him from Serbia. Actually, he's playing in Turkey. And Bojan, who's playing in Jersey, Brooklyn, is from Croatia. He can shoot. And I think the Pelicans would need somebody like that. He'd start probably. So something like that. All
right, shout out to some Facebook people. My cousin Zach Ruley just needs to go study or something. He's a freshman at Oklahoma State, and he wants to know why Chris Beard is the seventh best coach in the Big 12. Little cuz, you need to just go ahead and just go to the library and study.
I love how he's just going off.
Yeah.
I heard Mavs are getting LeBron. Right now he posted Paul George to OKC. No way.
Paul George is a free agent soon, though, and he needs to go to the Celtics.
No, they actually said that the Pacers, they were actually going for Cousins. They excuse me, I'm incorrect. It was the Pelicans. They inquired, according to Mark Stein, about Paul George.
Why?
So they were just reaching for the stars this weekend, and somehow they got Cousins. So
good for them.
I don't know what to say.
Paul George says he wants to stay there, though, but they all say that.
I think Anthony Davis will for sure stay in New Orleans.
No,
I think he's a franchise player.
Yeah, and the Cousins, I think, stays there, too.
I hope. If he doesn't, I think that's a dumb decision, honestly.
All right, let's wrap up. Facebook Live, stay tuned. We're coming back on air. Zach, quit trolling.
Let's do it.
KTXT-FM, the Raider, 88.1. We're back in the house. Overreaction Monday. Philip Arabome on the mic right now. Andrew Marks and Brandon Medina working very, very hard at looking at what we're going to talk about next. And that is
Texas Tech basketball.
TTU hoops. They do lose in OT to West Virginia after a very fierce comeback. I watched.
Fall to 0-9 in conference play on the road.
0-9 in conference play on the road, indeed. It was a very furious comeback. Watched every second of it while eating tacos at Torchy's. It was fantastic. Thought they were going to win the game. They go to double overtime, and they do not end up winning the game. So how do you feel about this Red Raider basketball team and its shot at postseason play?
Well, like I said at the top of the hour, get there tonight at 8 p.m. We're playing Iowa State.
Yep,
cheer them on the NIT because that's where they're headed.
Most likely.
They had a chance to make some noise and be on the bubble if they could have won that game on Saturday. Heck, you look at this 3-game stretch where we played 3 top 10 team guys. We lost to Kansas by 1. We took West Virginia to double overtime. A couple more bounces to go your way. You're 3-0 in that stretch, and you are for sure making the NCAA tournament.
You lost to TCU by 1. But here's the thing. The middle pack of that Big 12, it's tight. Iowa State's trying to get in. Kansas State's trying to get in. TCU. Oklahoma State is now forced its way into the discussion. Texas Tech needs to beat Iowa State and Oklahoma State on the road in the next 2 days.
I think they just need to win out. They need to win one Big 12 game.
They can win out
in the tournament.
They have to win out and win a Big 12 game to get in the tournament.
And I don't see them going into Stillwater and beating Oklahoma State. Not the way they're playing, and we're 0-9 on the road in Big 12 play.
0-9 on the road, but guess who you're playing on the road? You play TCU, that's tight. You play University of Texas. They're bad. But the problem is they got a lot of talent. Next year they're going to get a point guard. They're going to be good. Kansas is Kansas. It's a basketball school. That's where they live for. You beat Baylor. That's spectacular. We have fun with that. You had to beat West Virginia in OT. You had to. You take them that far, and then they come over and they beat you utterly in the second OT. That's a problem. So
and it wasn't even like a 1-point loss. Like they just went on a run. It was done.
Yeah.
Like after that, you could tell like 3 minutes in who was going to win that game.
They didn't shoot another field goal.
And you look at the box score. Keenan Evans just kind of carried them in the second half
28.
and 28. But he did make one huge mistake at the end of overtime. Instead of driving the ball, he could have, I think, gotten around that defender and gotten a layup. Instead, he settles for just dribbling the clock out and then taking a contested jumper. Kyle actually watched that game, and he said that he thought Evans should have pulled up for 3 because he was open at the beginning of that whole thing.
Okay,
so no. I mean, I just meant like if he was gonna take that, step back jumper like that, I would have went ahead and just took that 3 because they had more space.
Sure,
doing that against Devon Carter, I mean, that's a tough, task for anyone because he's one of the best defenders in the league. He's one of the best defenders in the nation. So, I mean, he could have drove. He did have Aaron Ross and Naeem in the corner, but I think the way he was playing, I would have rather had Keenan take anything besides anyone else because everyone was struggling in the rest of the game.
And Naeem Stevenson, he went off in the first half at 17 points, didn't score the rest of the game. I thought that was the difference in my opinion. He really carried us in the first half, and we needed that to carry over. I will give the man props. The guy has been killing it since Big 12 play started, don't you guys think?
Absolutely.
Yes. In non-conference, I kind of saw him on the court, and I was like, man, this guy's a 2-time junior college All-American, but now I actually see it because I think this guy, the way he's playing, if he can carry that into next year, I think we're looking at a potential first, second team All-Big 12 type scorer here.
Yeah, absolutely. I look at this team, and I say there's a lot of reinforcements coming in, at the very least. You have some of your core guys are still going to be here next year.
Most of them
are still going to be here next year. You're going to get some JUCO reinforcements.
Yep. Who can shoot?
Who can shoot? Thank the Lord. You're going to get that kid from down the street, South Plains.
Both of them,
exactly.
You got a 6'4" point guard who's a true point guard. Allow Keenan to play the 2.
Exactly.
And then you got Jordan Brangers, who's only about 6'1", but he can shoot the lights out, and he'll come off the bench and be your 6th man.
I love him. Here's the thing about this. Devin Thomas. There's some spare tires. There's some spare tires in this team. No, and they can play ball. I'm not saying anything bad. There are some spare tires in this team. Devin Thomas is erratic. Him at point guard, I'm comfortable with Evans. Evans can shoot. Evans can create. Evans can get his own buckets. Thomas is erratic. He can drive, and yeah, that's about it. Number 5, you know what I'm talking about. Gray.
Justin Gray.
Gray. Guy is a good defender, but man, his jump shot is broken, and I'll let you know that right now.
Well, it's not broken. I wouldn't say it's broken.
I just don't think he shoots enough.
Yeah, he doesn't take that shot.
So you think it's more of a confidence thing than a broken shot?
I don't even know if it's about confidence. I just feel like he doesn't like to get involved on offense if he doesn't have to.
I think if that guy took 15 shots a game, he'd make 10 of them. I really do.
Okay.
He shoots like he leads the team in field goal percentage last time I looked.
My thing, guys,
efficiency.
Yeah, and my thing, guys,
but he's a good player. He's good. He's a multi-tool player.
No, yeah, absolutely. And my thing, for sure, I think for me, I don't know if you guys have noticed, and Kyle, you can jump in for sure, but I feel like this team has become hesitant when they're shooting. At least different players have. I feel like there's always so many times you could take the 3, so many times you could drive in, dish it out, so many open mid-range shots.
Devin Thomas is huge doing that.
And we hesitate so much. And that's fine. If you can shoot, it's great. But like, if there's a play, Zach Thomas, what's it called? Zach Smith is open for a mid-range shot, and you pump fake it instead of just taking the open shot. Yeah. I don't understand. Just take the shot. You can shoot it consistently.
I feel like there's a consistency issue too. This is like a European basketball team where multiple people can get theirs, and then multiple people can disappear, which is okay because that happens a lot in European basketball. Zach Smith's jump shot has dramatically changed. Remember, when he first came to this campus,
all he could do is dunk.
Homeboy was literally a dunker. The end.
He's got a mid-range jump shot, and even against Baylor, he hit 3 threes.
Exactly. He's doing well. He's looking more confident. I'm more confident with Zach Smith having the ball in his hand. Good news. He'll be here again next year. Yep. Senior. Man.
I'm excited for this team next year. I think we really are 1 year away. I think NIT definitely this year, and I think you actually host a couple games here in the first couple rounds of the NIT. I think
I
think you'll be a higher seed in the NIT.
I think this is a 1 seed in the NIT.
Do you think?
This is one of college basketball's bubble teams that is not going to get into the tournament. Like, when you watch that selection show, it's going to be like, people that didn't get in, Texas Tech will be the first name. They are going to be the 1 seed in the NIT. If they win a Big 12 game, they can get back into that mix.
If not 1 seed, 2 seed lock. Absolutely. What were you going to say, Kyle?
Well, I was just going to say, I mean, they talk about how weak the bubble is this year and how an 8-10 in the conference play could get in out of the Big 12.
It can.
I mean, if you do look at Tech, they do have 2 top 10 wins, which is very difficult in itself. Yes, they were at home, and they only have 1 road win on the season at Richmond. But, I mean, if Tech, I don't think they're winning Oklahoma State Saturday, but if they did finish out and they won at least 2 games deep in the Big 12 tournament and upset like a Kansas or a Baylor or one of the top teams that they'd play in the second round, because they can beat Texas or Oklahoma in the first round game. If you do that and then you beat a Kansas or Baylor, that would be 3 top 10 wins. To me, that I know it's not road games, but I think at some point you got to put them in. I don't think they're an NCAA tournament team this year, but at times they do show that they are an NCAA tournament team.
If they are, they're at 13, or they're playing in that play-in game in Dayton, Ohio.
Well, hey, I wouldn't even mind that. I'd rather make the NCAA tournament and go out early than make a run the NIT. That's just me, though.
Yeah, I understand. And people don't get up for NIT at any school, much less Texas Tech, because of that disappointment. But my whole thing about this team and their tournament chances is ultimately you got to win out. If you win out, I think you can make a decent case, but you lost how many games on the road? Exactly.
So they got to win. I agree. I think they have to win out in the regular season. I think they have to get a game in the Big 12 tournament, and then we can talk. Maybe they're back in the bubble. But I don't see it happen. I see NIT. I think the RPI is just too low. Let's talk real quickly, since we only have a couple more minutes here in this segment. Let's talk about tonight's game against Iowa State. Iowa State comes in here at 7-9, 9-5 in conference. We're 7-10 at 5-9 in conference. Guys to watch out for in this game is the 2-point guards. Monty Morris for Iowa State, averaging 16-6. Having a pretty good season, 46.2 field goal percentage, shooting 80% from the free throw line as well. And then, of course, our point guard, Keenan Evans, just a shade under 16 a game as well, and sitting only at 3 assists per game. Where do you guys put put the chances at of stealing this one tonight? I know I say stealing this one, but I just feel like this team mentally just has to be drained from losing so many close games. And even though we're the home team and we play well at home, I see us as the underdog tonight.
Okay, I think they can beat Iowa State. They should. It's a 50-50. It's a toss-up. You can't say Tech is necessarily weak in a lot of areas. Like University of Texas basketball, they're just mentally weak. They have no game.
We do a lot of things good, but not anything great.
Yeah, exactly. That's my whole point. Iowa State is a winnable game. I think if they beat Iowa State here, I think that can wash off a lot of the transgression because Tech's a good home team, good team in Lubbock. Teams struggle in Lubbock unless you're Kansas, even Kansas. But the other three games, I look at these other three games, I'm like, yeah, they can do it, but it starts with Iowa State. It starts with containing their players. This is, like I said, Iowa State's on the bubble. The whole Big 12's on the bubble. Like outside of like top 3 or 4 teams, God knows what's happening.
I would say Iowa State's in.
I would say Iowa State's in right now, but just because they're 9-5 in conference, and there's 4 games
and they
left.
won at Kansas. I mean,
yeah.
nobody's won at Kansas in 50 straight games before that.
Okay, that is true. My mistake there. But yes, you look at this entire schedule. I'm just like, the whole Big 12 is just all over the place.
Yep.
You can't, like, as much as we think Tech is not in, like, anything can happen right now.
So you're saying we win tonight?
Yes.
Brandon?
Absolutely. I think we also win tonight too. I think it's a tough matchup. But I think the team knows, even if they want to stay on the bubble for the tournament, you have to win out the rest of the season. And it starts with Iowa State.
Kyle?
So hopefully.
I mean, I would say it's tough. I want Tech to win this game, but I don't think they will. I think Iowa State is playing really well right now. They won 3 straight after that bad loss at Texas. And I think just after the playing double overtime against West Virginia on the road, it's tough enough to play them for 40 minutes, press Virginia, but to play it for 2 overtimes after that, I think they're going to be drained. The starting 5 played a ton of minutes in that, especially Keenan and Zach, and I don't know if they'll have enough tonight. I think they'll show up, but I'm just not sure they have enough.
I'm in agreement with you. I think Texas Tech will just be a little bit jet-lagged. I think having to travel to and from West Virginia after playing a double overtime game, I say this game's going to be close, but I'll say something around 76-72. I think Iowa State pulls it out.
I really think you guys are doubting because I think Texas Tech, look at that middle pack of the league, outside of Kansas, Baylor, West Virginia. Iowa State, Oklahoma State, TCU, Kansas State, Texas Tech, they can beat each other. That's why I'm going with Tech, and Tech's had a lot of bad bounces. It's just unlucky about bounces.
This is a treat, man. Usually when I am dogging on Tech and not feeling confident, Phil jumps on the train and he's all about it too.
I'm looking at this dude like these teams can beat each other, and Tech can beat Iowa State, Tech can beat OSU, Tech can beat TCU, Tech can beat K-State. Like, I can see this happening, and you're in Lubbock.
Well, let us know what you think on Facebook Live. If you think Tech wins tonight, can they win out? Can they get to the NCAA tournament? Or should we just be happy with the NIT? Let us know on Facebook Live. In the meantime, we're going to toss it over to Kyle for some more music, and then we're going to come back. We're talking headlines, so keep it locked to the left right here on the Raider.
All right, we got She's Out of Her Mind by Blink-182. Stay tuned. More reaction on the way.
Facebook Live, what is up? My Uncle Brad Ruley chiming in as well. Can't beat the Cowboys. Man, we got too many Oklahoma State fans on this Facebook Live feed right now.
Yeah, I know. It's getting a little hot.
It's making me sick.
Hot.
You know, they steal all of our traditions here at Tech.
Yeah.
We had guns up before they had pistols firing.
Yeah, that's one.
The 3D look in our logos. The horse on the field, actually, if you go to Bullet's Wikipedia page, their horse that they have on the field, it says that it was inspired by the Masked Rider. What else? They steal our offense. They run the air.
They steal our offense
from the air
and
raid.
do it better.
Yeah, and they do it better than us almost, but not really though.
I always ask this question. So I look
Xerox you.
I ask this question, and this is generally college sports. People talk about, well, you don't want to play sports at Texas Tech, but you're going to go play in Oklahoma? You're going to play in Norman? You're going to play in Stillwater? Is that any better than Lubbock, Texas? So what is the real reason you think people can't recruit to Texas Tech in these sports?
I think you can recruit to Texas Tech. I just don't think you're ever going to get any blue chip players. But I think
Oklahoma State shouldn't be getting blue chip players.
They don't either. But the problem is they have coaches who know how to coach.
Okay.
Like at least on the football team. Like that's the deal.
I'm 40.
Yeah,
it's not to be 50. But
that's the thing. They get similar type of athletes in Stillwater as we do at Tech, except that they develop them. That's the difference.
That's a good. That's
Yeah,
a
I
good
mean,
theory.
Tech was in the same situation when Mike Leach was here.
Yeah.
I mean,
They're
that
getting
situation.
spare tires.
Leach won 9 games a year on 2 and 3 star players.
Yeah.
At least now it's mainly 3 stars and a few 4 stars thrown in.
Yeah.
Spare tires. I know it's all about development.
The
but
athletes
you
we
hear
get
about
today-
5 stars from
Yeah.
Dallas going to Oklahoma State. How does that happen? And does not
Not
happen
very
at Texas
often.
Tech?
Well, they started winning. I mean, they started winning, but they didn't
Winning.
start out with the 5-star prospects.
That's true. Remember, in football, particularly in 2003, Oklahoma State was one of the worst football teams in the country. Like, you didn't want to go there. They renovated the heck out of that stadium. Boom. Things happen. But, like, I was thinking about that when looking at, trying to compare areas like Oklahoma State and like that. Like, who wouldn't? And Oklahoma State does win a lot, and it's a lot of more. It's in a different state. That kind of helps.
Yeah.
Conducive to winning. University of Oklahoma. Who's supposed to go there? Remember,
I've been to Stillwater. It's really not that bad of a town. I mean, it's small. It's small. But, all right, we got to wrap it up. Facebook Live. Stay tuned. KTXT, the Raider 88.1. Hope you're enjoying listening to the Overreaction with Marks, Medina, and Arabome. We are doing some headlines here right now.
Turn up.
And I guess we'll start off with Brandon because we're going to mix it up. We've been talking some American sports lately, basketball in particular, and I guess now he wants to talk about the sport of the world, soccer. So
Me and Phil are both big fans.
You
of
can
this
see
sport.
him rolling his eyes as he
You
says
can
that.
see it, I'm telling
Soccer
you.
is growing in this country, and your kids are going to.
Well, we're not talking about soccer in this country. We're talking about Neymar, whoever that is. So
My man, all right.
People
So,
watch soccer overseas.
Barcelona star and Brazilian star Neymar is set to stand trial on corruption charges from Barcelona's move way back when, I believe in 2013. Phil, you know about this. They feel like the club he came from feel like they did not get enough money that they were talked about, or like the salary. I mean, the financial push I guess Barcelona was willing to give to them was not given fully.
Yep.
And it's been talked about for years. He's gone to trial multiple times, and finally he's going to be going to trial for the final time following these charges for I guess these corrupt charges on Barcelona's move. And Barcelona has had some problems in the past years of this as well. So
here's the thing, and this is going to be really interesting for your audience. I know even in this wonderful town, a lot of people don't know much about international soccer in general. There is a big controversy that's kind of sort of related to what Neymar is, that people essentially are buying players, like agents are essentially buying players from like Brazil and Argentina, and these slightly off-range Latin American countries, and essentially selling their services to big European clubs like Barca, like West Ham United. That's how Carlos Tevez got in, and Mascherano, like all these other big clubs in Europe, for a fee. So it's third-party ownership, essentially where the player is owned by an agency, whereas the player works with an agency in other sports, but the player is being owned by an agency. So they lowball teams in Brazil that have no money, no infrastructure, but they just love soccer. That's why they get in. And it's gotten to become really corrupt, and a lot of people are very mad about this. So third-party ownership kind of plays a role in this. I'm not sure if it's that particularly, but Neymar is in that fishy situation where Santos, the club he's in Brazil, they have no money. Most teams in Latin America have no money. They have a lot of passion, but no money because
and
everyone's
Santos
poor.
has produced great players in the
Pele.
past. Yeah, they have produced. You know who Pele is?
I do know who Pele is.
So they produced him, and Neymar's kind of like, I guess for Brazil, like his second coming of like Ronaldinho, Pele, Rolando, like all like.
They
Ronaldo.
think he's better than Ronaldo.
Yeah.
They think he's better than Ronaldinho, and
so-
those guys were superstars.
And Ronaldinho to me is my favorite player of all time.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
it's crazy.
My
But
favorite.
he was
Neymar-
hanging out with LeBron at the All-Star
everybody.
game
He was
practice.
there the whole. He gave everybody jerseys.
And there is a lot of overlap between like soccer and basketball, because basketball is becoming like an international complement to soccer. So
Yeah, I
it's a
thought
big
you would
deal.
know. Neymar hangs out with like Kobe and them all the time. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
Neymar?
Yeah,
Neymar.
LeBron. He
I
knows
literally
it.
have never seen him until I'm looking at his
Messi.
Wikipedia page right now.
He kicks it with like Drake and stuff. Like it's dope.
No, like soccer is huge.
Who doesn't Drake kick it with, though? Drake is invited to come on the show anytime he wants.
Absolutely,
So.
Absolutely.
By the way,
You wanna
all
find
That
out
guy
like
loves his
Texas?
sports.
Next up, what we got, man?
All right, the All-Star Game. Speaking of All-Stars and Superstars, the All-Star Game happened last night. 192 and 182.
Oh my gosh.
The West won. The most
That's
ridiculous.
a low score, bro.
That's the most
It's
ridiculous.
the most points ever scored in the event's history.
The most ridiculous score line I've ever seen in my life. This is stuff I didn't even do in NBA Live or 2K. But ultimately, overshadowed by the entire DeMarcus Cousins getting traded at the Pelicans frenzy. The All-Star weekend was okay, but not great.
Definitely wasn't last year.
Porzingis won the skills competition.
I was happy about that. I'm a big Porzingis fan.
I don't understand that. And the dunk contest was the worst of all time. All right, spit.
And then Anthony Davis broke the All-Star record for most points in the game.
Broke Wilt's record.
Fantastic. In New Orleans. That's awesome.
And Russell Westbrook had 41 points of his own. Absolutely ridiculous. You look at this box score.
I heard Kevin Durant had his 4th triple-double in the All-Star game. Is that true?
Yes.
That's insane.
Yeah, 21 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists.
Solid.
And he played, 81 seconds with Russ combined. He threw him an alley-oop.
And then the whole team cheered him on. That was awesome.
That was
a
a
great time.
clap, a little clap there. But of course, the NBA All-Star Game. Let me tell you about the most ridiculous event in the NBA All-Star Game. They have a celebrity game.
It was terrible. I watched it at
random celebrities. Not random. Some are famous. Like, Win Butler from Arcade Fire. Nick Cannon.
Mark Cuban.
Mark Cuban. They had
the greatest owner of all time.
They had another owner. I will talk about Mark Cuban. He is the greatest sports owner ever. There's no sports owner who's transcended the actual ownership of a sports team the way Mark Cuban has while being the owner of that sports team.
Get you some of that, Brandon Medina.
Sorry.
And Brian Jimenez in the other studio.
You guys' as owner sells tractors in South Texas. That's cool. Y'all won 5 titles. You should come back with that.
Who's your owner again? What's his name?
Our owner is
Peter Holt.
Peter Holt. Yeah, Peter Holt.
See, that's how forgettable they are. Oh, Peter Holt.
I knew who he was. I was just trying to get on Brandon's skin.
I like how cocky Mark Cuban is, but I just don't like him.
I love Mark Cuban.
But let's go back to this game a little bit. I didn't watch any of it. I only watched the highlights.
That's all.
And I thought maybe, people really aren't really interested. But I guess it was because they actually had the highest ratings since 2013.
Because last year's was so good.
Yeah.
Everybody saw the dunk contest last year. Was like, oh, we have to see it this year. Can't miss it this time.
Toronto was popping.
And then how about this? Like I said, Westbrook and Durant shared the court for just 81 seconds, and Oklahoma City posted the highest local market rating with a 10.9. Bam!
Wow.
Oh, good old Oklahoma.
All I know is LeBron is the king of these All-Star games.
Let's talk about this dunk contest though. Fill me in. According to Kyle, he can jump in on this too. Everybody was just missing dunks left and right.
But the last one, Glad Robinson III had a great dunk. It was good. It was
decent. No.
He dropped it with a drone or what?
No. He went over 3 people.
Oh. Okay, let me tell you about the kid that dropped it. That was Gordon. Gordon had a terrible dunk contest. Missed dunks left and right. My whole theory about dunk contest: if you miss dunks, I don't care anymore. Dog, come on, get it together. You're supposed to nail this. You're supposed to practice this, nail this down. Remember, watch that 2000 dunk contest. How many dunks did Vince Carter miss? None. Exactly.
Jason Richardson hardly missed any too.
Exactly.
Well, it's still impressive what they do.
Absolutely.
They shouldn't miss it as many times. Aaron Gordon, I heard he had a foot injury, so that's why he didn't have the explosiveness that he had last year. That's what I heard.
That just sounds like
grow up, punk.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, that's what I heard. The announcers are talking about.
Aaron Gordon's
he's got a good publicist.
All I know is
Aaron Gordon's an athlete.
You brought it up. Every dunk contest I watch is going to be compared to the 2000 dunk contest. It's just not going to happen. So there's no need to have it.
Because Vince Carter became a star. Yeah. You want to know the funniest thing?
Yeah, DeAndre Jordan. He was trash.
But I'm saying he's not a superstar. I don't consider.
You wouldn't say
he's
a superstar.
I would not say DeAndre Jordan.
I would say he's definitely one of the most athletic players.
He's not athletic, but
he's
the third best player on his team. He's no superstar.
Aaron Gordon's an athlete. Speaking of, Aaron Gordon is purely an athlete. At least Levine learned how to play the game. Aaron Gordon's still an athlete. My goodness. I'm tired of athletes.
Well, if they would have got obviously not this year, but if at some point a LeBron or a Russ,
I think there's too much on the line for you to lose your credibility as a good player. That's why they don't do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but Michael Jordan, Dominique Wilkins,
that was
Vince
the 80s.
Carter,
they're 80s, 90s. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. They had the cojones.
I'm not gonna say, oh, LeBron's terrible because he didn't win the dunk contest.
I want to see Antetokounmpo, bro. That boy,
he had better dunks in the game than he did in the dunk contest.
Who did he posterize?
Steph Curry.
And it was bad. And then Steph was on the floor. It was ridiculous. But the thing about the dunk contest, it used to make stars. You want to know how Jordan became a legend? Dr. J, dunk contest. Dominique, dunk contest.
Dwight Howard.
Michael.
Hey, even
Robinson.
I'm going to throw a name who actually had a good dunk contest back then. Ray Allen. Had a really good dunk contest back in the day.
1997. Go look it up. No, Vince Carter.
Look it up.
You want to know the funniest thing?
Brent Barry.
The funniest thing about the Toronto Raptors is that their fame comes from 2 places. Vince Carter winning a dunk contest.
And Chris Bosh looking like an actual Raptor.
Wreck 'em. That's exactly how it goes, baby. But no, Vince Carter flew
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
Oh, man.
It's the best.
But hey, that was to my boys, a very entertaining weekend. I think I didn't watch any of it. I apologize.
Okay.
Sorry, not sorry.
What's your story?
My story. It wouldn't be the overreaction if I didn't slip in one Cowboys story, right?
Oh, here we go.
Here we go. The Dallas Cowboys restructured the contracts of Tyron Smith and Travis Frederick today, clearing up $17.3 million in cap space. We still have yet to decide what's going on with Tony Romo. We're likely going to make him a June 1st cut. That's going to clear up another $14 million in salary cap space. And then we could still restructure guys like Orlando Scandrick, Jason Witten, Sean Lee, all those names. What I'm trying to tell you to you guys, Jerry Jones is going to go all in next year. He's going to go sign Jason Pierre-Paul. He may go get Trumaine Johnson as well to upgrade corner.
One more time.
And then he's going to and then he's going to sign Zach Martin to the biggest contract any offensive lineman has ever seen. And then, you know what? We're going to go out. We're going to win the Super Bowl next year, baby. The Dallas Cowboys are finally not strapped for cash. We got so much salary cap to spend, and I am pumped. It's going to be a free agent frenzy in Frisco, Texas. You better believe it.
I am so excited to watch the Dallas Cowboys.
I'm excited to watch you talk about the Dallas Cowboys more than I am to watch the actual Dallas Cowboys.
Mr. 7.5 Fingers is going to be getting 7.5 sacks or more for the Cowboys next year. Jason Pierre-Paul, you can go ahead and just pack your bags from New Jersey and come down south.
Good old firecracker hands. That's what I'm talking about.
All right, go for it.
Alrighty, so on this next headline, though, are we talking trades now, or are we talking just for the rest of it? I know we're talking about maybe some...
Oh, yeah, let's do some trades. NBA trade deadline.
For our teams.
For our teams, yeah. Or in general, too.
Okay, so, I'll do in general.
Okay.
The Lakers don't need anything.
So
they need God. They need Jesus.
bring up that trade we talked about.
Which
idea.
one?
The Lakers-Pelicans.
All right, the Lakers should be trading... they should trade Nick Young, who's a shooter,
and Lou Williams,
to the Pelicans for somebody.
Ooh,
salary dump.
I don't know.
Pelicans
who else.
need shooters, and that's 2 shooters.
Give me a second. Give me a second for next year, and I'll be good. I'll take it. Would you take it?
A second round pick?
Second round
for both
pick?
of them?
Yeah.
Oh no, I'll take at least 2 second round picks for both of them. I think they're both good. I try to get like Omer, Ashik, or someone that they can dump too.
Because they're redundant. They're stunting.
I would get one of their front court players for those 2. You give them 2 shooters, and in return you get Ashik
2 forwards, 2 forwards, 2 centers.
But let me explain who this team's got. This team's got Timofey Mozgov, who's garbage. I know. Who's got
crazy
Ivica Zubac, who I like, big kid from Croatia. He might be good. And you know them kids from the Balkans, they're real good. And then I'm gonna put Ashik. And Ashik is worth almost as much. Like, Mozgov got money because he stood in the paint during the finals.
Man. Get Monty Eunice then or something. I don't know. Just
get Ajinça.
Who'd you get? Ajinça?
Ajinça. Like,
get an athletic big.
Up.
Yeah, he'd be like a DJ Mbenga. You know Mbenga, who
former Maverick great DJ Mbenga.
Who literally created...
Did we just say former Maverick great?
Who literally just like threw people down.
A part of the greatest center trio in Mavericks history with Eric Dampier and Sagana Diop.
Oh no, Diop is the greatest Maverick center ever.
DJ Mbenga.
Say it better.
DJ Mbenga was my boy back in the day.
Okay, so I like that. I'm down with that though.
Okay,
and you help out the Pelicans. The Pelicans automatically become a solid team.
And what do the Spurs need?
All right. So for me, Brian, please jump on this mic soon. So for me, Kawhi has come out and said he wants the team chemistry. He doesn't care about trades. I am the same way. I don't think we need anybody. However, for a dream trade, Brian would probably disagree. But for me, I looked at the NBA trade machine. Okay.
Oh boy.
I would love this trade to happen.
This is about to be so unrealistic.
It is, but it's also kind of realistic.
At least he's honest.
All right. I want to see Danny Green and Bryn Forbes, okay, who's like a come up from the Austin Spurs.
Yeah.
Let's see them 2 traded, and it says the trade's successful. I don't know. We can check on 2K later on, but I like to see them trade. And if Lottie Divac's dumb again, give us Rudy Gay. Let's make it happen. Let's do it. Let's
Rudy Gay on the Spurs.
Let's get it. He's hurt right now. Get it for next season. Let's get it done.
Popovich would have a heart attack watching that man try to play defense.
I would love. We don't need. We have.
Here's what Rudy Gay can do. He can come off the bench, 6-man specialization, kind of just make.
Probably a 6-man of the year. Honestly,
he would have to be the 6th man because Kawhi is the 3.
That's fine.
He's long. Here's the thing. Rudy Gay is everything that Kawhi is everything Rudy Gay should have been. You get me? You know what I'm saying? Long leg, athletic.
Rudy Gay's also like 4.5 inches taller than Kawhi Leonard.
And he can shoot the lights out.
And he can shoot the lights. He has a better shot. Kawhi has way better defense. Rudy Gay plays
as
much defense as you or I do.
But Pop has never really had that type on his bench is all I'm saying.
Yeah, but you can make it happen for sure.
Yeah.
Rudy Gay's 30.
Actually, you know what? Pop did pick up Kevin Martin.
Yeah, and he also had Richard Jefferson, who was pretty turtle for a while there.
Yeah.
You got a lot of people. You got Steven Jackson.
T-Mac.
Steven Jackson was there.
No, Steven Jackson was on the upcome. Literally, who made Steven Jackson's career?
Steven Jackson's career was made by the
Don
Spurs
Nelson.
and Golden State.
Don Nelson.
Exactly.
Brian, what do you think about this Rudy Gay to the
Danny
Spurs
Green
idea?
and Rin Forbes, it's
I don't know if I like it.
little.
I mean, I like Rudy Gay as a player. I don't think he fits with the Spurs system.
I'm in agreement.
It's just
Okay.
not the
Yeah,
right
well,
that's
type of
fair.
environment for
I
Rudy
thought-
Gay specifically.
Did he say Danny Green for Rudy Gay? No. If I'm the Spurs fan and y'all are,
Maybe like Jonathan Simmons.
No.
Simmons is.
I
okay,
think-
what
I
is
think-
Simmons? What is Simmons?
Simmons
He's
is
a role
probably
player.
going to be. He's probably like our sixth man right now. Honestly,
He's a
coming off
ball.
the
He
bench.
averages
He's-
like 6 points, 4 boards.
Play some
I know
defense.
most of his stuff is
plays
more
great
PR,
defense, though. Yeah.
more like advanced stats kind of stuff. But he's a jumper. He's 26.
All right, this is running late, so I got to just get quickly to mine real quick. One I would like to see happen.
Oh, here we go.
Mavericks, and I would like the Mavericks and the Cavaliers to get together. This trade can actually happen. Trade J.J. Barea, who the Cavs do need a backup point guard. Barea would fit that role, I think, beautifully. Trade him and Andrew Bogut to Cleveland for Iman Shumpert, straight up. They would also have to include the Mike Dunleavy trade exception that they got from that trade for Kyle Korver. Basically, just a 2-for-1, Barea and Bogut for Iman Shumpert.
So what do you need Shumpert for?
Well, he could come off the bench and just be another defensive presence for the Mavs. He would be the backup 2 and 3 moving forward as we try to build this team to be respectable again.
The score.
Yeah, but this trade is really just all about helping the Cavs. They would give us maybe some couple second-round picks in return. I'm fine with it. And plus, what it really comes down to is it makes the Mavs a worse team and hashtag Team Tank, baby.
Amen.
Team
And you
Tank.
drop a lot of contract.
Yeah,
you
we
free
dump
up some-
Barea.
free up some space.
We dump Barea for he has 2 more
And
years on his
Bogut.
contract.
And Bogut,
Bogut's
has
a free agent at the end of the year.
Yeah, but he has a
Bogut.
huge contract as well.
Bogut, you know how little of a darn he cares now? He's writing stuff in Croatian.
Yeah. He doesn't, but I think if he played for Cleveland, he would be a little more energetic, and I think would play up to Andrew Bogut's potential. So I'd like to see that happen. He wants Rudy Gay in San Antonio. He wants to unload his bench pieces to the Pelicans, and I would like the Mavericks to trade some veterans to so young people like Yogi Ferrell and Salah Mejri can get some more playing time. Okay, that's going to do it for headlines. We're going to come back. We're going to wrap up the show, and we're going to talk about some wrestling. We got some WWE and UFC news, Brandon's favorite part of the show. Keep it locked to the left. What's up next?
Coming up, we have Amber by 311, so stay tuned. More reaction on the way.
Anything. What's up, Facebook Live? Hope everyone's doing all right. I'm going to pull up the comments here in a second.
Turn up.
Got him.
Jim Mark says go watch some wrestling.
Absolutely, Jim Marks. All day, every day.
Wrestling.
So what's going on with Raw tonight?
I don't. There's a lot needs to happen actually. You have
It's the Undertaker and Reigns started their feud yet?
no. It's not gonna happen, dude, until like March. You know this. It doesn't happen until like late when it's about to be WrestleMania. Like
Why?
2
Why are they
weeks
waiting so long?
What? You're a wrestling fan. This always happens.
Make it a good feud and have it be like 2 months.
Like 2 weeks before so like WrestleMania, out of nowhere, the Undertaker like beat him up backstage. You're like, where did he come from? And then
That's dumb.
that
That's
was the
predictable.
feud. Yeah. What do you? Yes. What do you mean? This is wrestling. This has been like this. Anyways, Goldberg is challenging Kevin Owens for the championship at Fastlane, the next pay per view.
Oh, yeah, I forget there's another pay-per-view.
Yeah. So they have
Fastlane.
to figure.
Who came up with that title?
They have to figure that out. Probably Triple H. Let's figure that stuff out. UFC stuff is happening. George St. Pierre has already given some names that he wants to fight, or at least some intriguing matches instead of title matches. Dos Santos has coming out in UFC. McGregor has been boxing on heavy bags, so looking excited. Lots of stuff happening, man. I'm very excited to go into this segment. But Raw tonight should be interesting. It should be really interesting. Kevin Owens just turned on Chris Jericho last week, so look for that to be.
That's absolutely happening.
That's absolutely happening at WrestleMania for sure. They're building up.
Well,
to
this
that.
is just so predictable. I guess we'll talk. Actually, I'm going to save it for the segment. Facebook Live, stay tuned. We're talking some WWE, UFC, and then we're closing out the show. Keep it locked to the left.
Kane is in the building.
Finally, the best show on KTXT is back for the millions
and millions
of KTXT's listeners. This is the Overreaction on KTXT 88.1. Once again, the best show on KTXT. Let's make sure we reiterate that. But also, let's get into some wrestling UFC news, man. Lots of stuff happening.
I want to start off with this Kevin Owens-Goldberg thing.
All right, Kevin Owens is fighting Goldberg.
And can I just give the most predictable outcome that's going to happen here?
Go for it.
Obviously, it's going to be Goldberg-Lesnar at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And then he says this is going to be for the belt. Lesnar is obviously going to come out and interfere and help Kevin Owens retain. And it's just so predictable.
I don't think that's happening.
That's happening.
I don't think Lesnar's coming out at Fastlane anytime. I don't think he's going to come out whatsoever.
Yeah, he is.
I think
unless Jericho is the one that costs Kevin Owens the belt.
That's what I think is going to happen.
Or may cost him the match.
Give me Jericho instead of Brock. Jericho's a lot more of a consistent wrestler than Brock is.
Let's make a bet. You think Jericho's coming out? I think Lesnar's coming out. What do we want to do here?
Whoa, when did this happen? Last time you made a bet, you owe me a steak still, son.
Yeah, you do.
You better come through with that bet before you come through with another.
What do we want to do? Obviously, we won't do steak. Let's do like
Nah. We're doing
barbecue bet.
For Aloha Barbecue?
Yeah, Aloha Barbecue.
All right, sounds good.
Deal.
All right. So Chris, you saw it, everybody. Chris Jericho's going to come out, interfere. And
I'm going to watch on Twitter.
Kevin
Kevin
Owens will get, I'm sure he'll retain it, though. They're not going to give Goldberg a championship. Yeah. And then also, big news today, which I hate, actually. The New Day is revealed that they're going to be hosting WrestleMania. Like, they'll be like the hosts of WrestleMania.
I'd like to announce right now that I'm not going to be watching WrestleMania now.
I mean, I'll be watching. I'll be there.
That's disgusting.
I don't know why they're hosting WrestleMania instead of fighting, but sure, whatever, cool.
They're the dumbest tag team I've ever seen.
Okay, stop. They're great, dude. They're a great gimmick, great wrestlers. It's awesome. Anyways. They're the longest reigning champions.
Yeah, no, and that's just a slap in the face to like Edge and Christian and the Dudley Boys and the Hardy Boys.
No, dude, their gimmick worked. It was great. All right, Braun Strowman versus the Big Show today, bro. I don't know if you're familiar with Braun Strowman.
I am.
Okay, facing the Big Show today. Kind of excited for that one because the Big Show's probably gonna lose. I don't know why, but he will because it's Braun Strowman, and Braun Strowman's facing Roman Reigns at Fastlane. So look out for that one. Also, at Fastlane, I don't know if you keep up with the cruiserweights, bro.
I haven't been.
So there's this guy, Jack Gallagher. He's awesome. He's amazing, dude. Like, imagine, like, a new generation, more fun William Regal. Like,
okay,
very, like, classy.
You know how big of a William Regal fan I was.
Classy English.
Triple Heish.
Classy English guy.
Manga.
And then he's fighting Neville for the championship at Fastlane, so get excited for that. But moving towards today, Monday Night Raw, lots of stuff needs to happen. You gotta go through this Kevin Owens-Chris Jericho feud. You gotta bring Goldberg out or do something with Goldberg talking about because it happens in 13 days this pay-per-view. So you only have this week, next week, and I think one more.
I think they need to bring out Gilbert and that too.
Gilbert came out last week.
Did he really?
Yeah.
No way. It's
Gilbert
on my
came
DVR.
out last week.
I'm going home and watching that.
Yeah, it was crazy. They want to keep him for WrestleMania. That's
Gilbert.
Yeah, he came out. Last
He actually
week.
came out.
Yes.
What's he look like now?
Oh,
the same.
The same.
But
Yeah,
old.
the same. But anyways, but in the UFC, man, we have GSP. You can jump in on this now, Phil. Now you're okay.
We got 2 minutes.
GSP, a.k.a. George St. Pierre, his trainer said that he's very interested in Michael Bisping or Conor McGregor. Not a title fight, but just an intriguing fight everybody can get behind and watch. I'd be kind of excited for that.
I'd be excited for that.
I'd be down.
The guy's a legend.
The thing is, don't really pay for a lot of pay-per-view, if ever. I don't have pay-per-view capabilities, but I have seen some fights out there. So if there are fights that get me out, give me a Conor McGregor. Give me the next big thing. What is the next big thing in MMA? I know it's McGregor. I know St. Pierre's an established name for MMA.
Cody Garbrandt, the guy that beat up.
The guy's a beast.
Yeah. He's a beast. He's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So lots of stuff happening in that. Also, there was a lot of knockouts this past week in UFC and for Fight Night, and then also in like Bellator MMA, a bunch of other stuff. But a big thing that just came out is the Junior Dos Santos. Is done trying to give Fabricio Verdum a rematch, who's like one of the best heavyweights in the division. And Junior Dos Santos basically said Verdum declined the fight 3 times. So someone's scared in this situation. And then, of course, to end it, Conor McGregor's out hitting heavy bags, getting ready for some boxing. Who knows what that's going to lead to. But this is going to keep on going probably until like the summer.
Balls in Mayweather's court.
It is. It really is.
McGregor hasn't changed. He's ready.
McGregor's ready, man. And I want to see it. Give me it.
Give me it too.
Give me it, man.
All right, let's wrap this up a little bit. I want to thank everybody on Facebook Live. I know this is only an hour-long show. Typically, we will be on from 6 to 8 p.m., but of course, the Tech game against Iowa State is tonight at 8 p.m., so we're going to go head out to that. Thank you so much for listening to anybody on the airwaves, on the TuneIn app, or on Facebook Live. Any final words, gentlemen?
They got robbed.
They got robbed. The Kings got robbed. Brandon.
Keep it locked to the left on KTXT because Stone Cold said so.
Absolutely. For Andrew Marks, Medina, Arabome, thank you so much, Kyle Stafford, Brian Jimenez, and Joel Schgetty, our producers. We will see you next week from 6 to 8 p.m. right here on the Raider 88.1 FM Lubbock.